Hey guys, welcome to Pet Rambles. I'm Pet and today I'm going to ramble about the Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. This book, this video is the death of me. It's almost May. I finished this book 2 months ago at the beginning of March. I've read it. I've read through it in like 5 days. I was away. I had time. I was listening to. I was reading it on the ebook reader, and I was listening at the same time. Good audio narration. I think that's the only good thing about this book. The cover and the audio narration. And yeah, I've been struggling with this because I don't know how to make the video. I wrote a script, I wrote ideas of what I want to say about this book, but it's one of those things where you look online, you see 5 of the stars ratings and things like that, and you read it and it's like, this is an objectively bad book. Like, this is why it's like I gave it 2 stars out of 5. It's an objectively bad book, yet I look at other people and be like, wow, fantastic, and so on and so on. It's like, what is wrong with me? Maybe there is something wrong with me. And I keep overthinking, I keep postponing things, I keep procrastinating it to a point where I just need to do this and then move on. Whatever it's going to be, however this video is going to be, I just need to get it out and move on. Life lesson, you know, if there is anything you're going to get through from this video, is this, you know, stop overthinking, just do things. And then move on, get the feedback from people, and then when you will do it, you will learn yourself, and the next video will be even better. And I know the theory. I've been doing videos since, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. I've been to this, yet after years of not doing things, I get very out of it. Right? I need to be more in the zone. Oh man, this book. And disclaimer, I get it, you know, something that I like, you might not like, something that you like, I might not like. If you like this, fine, it's no problem, you be you. The thing with this book is that it's not like with other books. Like, I've tried to read Akotar, and I can see how people, I'm not saying this is a bad book, but I can see how this is a book that's not for me. It's tailored for people. Some people love it. You know, if I want porn, I just put a video. No shame in that as a man, but I don't enjoy reading fantasy porn. But I can see how people like it. It's no problem with that book. With Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi, it's objectively bad. If you want adventure, if you adore it, there are so many other books. And just to give you another thing to read Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. It's also a female author, in case that's important for you. It's also a book with ships and the sea and pirates, if that's the thing for you. But it's a book where you don't know what's going to happen. There is no good, there is no evil, there is gray in between, there's not who's going to win. You have no idea. I have a proper review, spoiler-free review on my channel if you want to read more about that. But it's a book about characters. The world building is drawn to characters. Sometimes the descriptions here and there, but because the characters are so relatable or so unrelatable, like you have sociopaths there, you have narcissists, you have people who want to prove themselves, you can see yourself in all those different characters. While here in the Adventure of Amina al-Sirafi, the premise is very good. So let me start. Let's see what I wrote in the script. I've been rambling right now because I'm trying to get into the mood of speaking about this bad book. So I wrote here, maybe this is the hard part. I hate being the bad guy. I hate saying something bad because I might offend people, and maybe this is the struggle that I'm having. But I wrote something like this. This book feels more like someone is having a bit of an identity crisis and needs to be defined by all those external things, like social justice, having a child, Islam. The writing feels more concerned with checking boxes than crafting a narrative that stands out on its own merits. And what I want to say by that is that either of those things by themselves won't be a problem. Like, okay, the author had a child and she wants to put this motherhood thingy into the book. No problems there. But she wants us to know more about Islam. This is one of the things that drew me to this book. Fine. But then you also have a character who suddenly, spoiler alert. So just to give you, this is not a spoiler-free video. I'm going to speak about rambling about things from the book because I'm more pissed off somehow. I'm not really pissed off, but anyway. If you want to read this book, read it and then come back. This is the type of video you are going to watch after, you know, for another opinion. But my recommendation is to just read Ship of Magic, for example. But anyway, suddenly in this book you also have a trans character, which again by itself it wouldn't be a problem. But when you put all those things together and you don't have a story to live to all those things, you feel like, I think the author is having an identity crisis and needs to feel all those emotions put into a book, into a story that's trying way too hard to be edgy or whatever, educational. I don't know. Another example why I mean this, it's like the whole book was also very confusing, because when you start reading the book, you read on the first page like a warning or a disclaimer or whatever, like how this book was researched and things like that, and how like Christian characters were called Franks or something like that, or and the Byzantine characters were called Roms. I forgot exactly, but something like that. I was like, I forgot about this warning at some point, and I was like, who's this Frank character? You know, like she's trying to be historically accurate, but at the same time she's creating surreal world, fantasy world, and I was like, it was very hard for me to place where is this happening and when, even that you are told when, but because the adventure itself it gets surreal and confusing, it makes me confusing. On top of that, the story is being told at I'm not good with grammar and things like that, but the story is being told from the third point of view, or it's like I'm telling you a story. I'm telling the story to a scribe, and that scribe is writing that story. And then sometimes you have this breakage of a fourth wall, like Amina is talking with the scribe. And when I was listening to this, I was like even more confused. What's going on right now? Like, it's not funny. It doesn't add anything to the story. It's also setting the story as a overall. The adventure of Amina al-Sirafi is being told by Amina al-Sirafi. You don't feel all the greatest stories, all the adventure that's being happening there, because Amina is telling it her. It's like, I'm telling you how great I am, but you want to see how great I am, you know, something like that. So why I decided to read this book? I'm kind of like in the mood. Last year I read The Wager, which is a real book, very good book. It's happening. It happened for real. I enjoy reading history, and I realized that I was never attracted to pirates. I was never attracted to the sea, and I was like, let's read more about that. And this is why I've started to read Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb, and I saw this book, and what drew me to this book was the cover. The cover, I think it's a fantastic book. That's kind of a fantastic cover that's telling you an idea with this book. I was like, okay, let's try it out. I checked the reviews. People say that it's great and so on. I was like, I haven't deep dived into the reviews, see if I saw anything to enjoy. I was just pulling the trigger. Hey, it seems to be well done, good cover. It's about an adventure. The synopsis is really good. The synopsis, it's something like a retired pirate like Amina. She's getting a visit one day. She's living with her mother and her own daughter after she's being retired for like 10 years or so. She's been a feared pirate, a Nakuda. Nakuda means captain, not pirate, but she was a captain on a pirate ship. She's done a lot of bad things, but now she's retired and she's chilling, raising her daughter and seeing the values of having a daughter and a family. She receives a visit by the mother of an ex-crew member of hers, and that mother is telling her, you need to find my granddaughter, and if not, you're not going to do that. I have things that... so she's kind of like blackmailing Amina to do this last mission, and then Amina, in the context that she will also receive a shitload of money, she decides to do this mission, and she's going to get her old crew back. So the synopsis, it's very good, it's very intriguing, I'm excited. Hey, this is kind of like a heist. Let's get our old crew back and do the mission, and then whatever, see how the mission is going to go on. The synopsis was very cool. Another thing that I wrote here, I kind of said it again, but I think I wrote it better on paper. The author's note in the book itself confirms this setting, mentioning that the reference to Latin Christians as Franks and Byzantines as Ram, aiming to recreate the historical context as accurately as possible while acknowledging it's a work of fiction. Yes, you are told that the action takes place in the Indian Ocean in the 12th century. And I was like, why not create your own world? You are a writer, do whatever you want. Why try to be historically accurate? Be like a snob that this book was researched, and then at the same time you give us this really historical fantasy. Combining history with fantasy, with surrealism, it's really, really, really bizarre. So the first disappointment came when Amina is going to get her old crew back. She finds out something, that her navigator is in a prison somewhere and she's trying to go there, and was expecting like, hey, this is kind of like it's going to be an important thing, it's going to be... But then things just happened. A couple of pages and they are done. She has her own old navigator back. She has her own... I forgot what she was, but she was kind of like this badass woman, 50, maybe even more years old. She's very good with poisons. She was friends of Amina's, but they haven't seen each other in 10 years. And it's something like, we haven't spoke to each other in 10 years. And it's like, yes. And they get back together. It's like that. So that was the first disappointment. I was expecting more, when more of a heist, or more of a something, or more of an action to get the old crew back. But then they are just getting the old crew back. They are getting the old ship back, and that's it. Speaking of the ship, even that it's something with pirates, with a ship, with getting on the sea, there's nothing about that. There's nothing about shipbuilding or how you are going to swing through ropes or things like that. On the other hand, in Ship of Magic by Robert Hobb, there is a lot of terminology related to ships. I had to Google things. This book is in Romanian, my native language. I didn't understand some of the words because I don't know navigational terms and how they call this rope and how they call the front of the boat or whatever. I had to read. There is nothing like that in this book. The ship doesn't matter. The ship is just there. The ship is just a vessel that at some point they get on the ship, and then they get off the ship and they get attacked at some point. And maybe the only thing that's ship-like is that, like in the cover, you can see some tentacles, that the ship is getting attacked by some sea creature, and then Amina is with his sword, she's cutting one of the tentacles off. That's kind of like the only pirate-likey thingy in the whole book. So my interest started to fade off slowly, but it did peak at about 45% of the book. It did peak a little bit because Amina is meeting one of her old husbands, and then that old husband is turned out to be some kind of demon or some kind of this type of creature. And I was like, okay, it's not historically stuff, it's supposed to be fantasy, supernatural, and it did pick a little bit of my interest, but it went down again. We got like 1 or 2 chapters. Again, how the story is being told, it's like we are here in the present. I mean, you're not here in the present because Amina is telling something in the past to describe, right? He's describing, but then she's also telling something even from more the past, on how she was when she was younger and she met her husband, and that which was kind of like a demon, and she signed a contract or something, and then they got fused together, and turns out, spoiler, in case it's not obvious, turns out that her daughter is actually this demon's daughter. Ooh. Okay, maybe it is a little bit interesting to some degree, but it just doesn't. The story just doesn't hold up, and I'm curious to see if other people are again. This is kind of like one of those things where I'm telling you that it's a bad story, but I'm feeling that I'm not communicating why exactly it's a bad story and it's not being told the right way. Besides the confusion, and this is something that I need to learn how to express more objectively why I think something is bad, but I don't have the words yet, so I'm still learning. After the half of the book, it was obvious for me that the whole book is very surreal and fantasy. There were a bit of some interesting things here and there, but I simply didn't care. I'm reading. And let me give you an example. Some description. The world building is done through description, not that much through characters. And I don't have a problem with that. I will tell you exactly why. A garden with date palms and a lute player, an ibex with scrolled horns speaking mischievously from behind a screen of leaves, and a pair of hoopoe birds with their beaks open mid-song. The silver gleamed as true, freshly polished as true. It has not been ancient a millennium ago. I'm bad at reading in English, but I will also put it on the screen. You can pause it. And I was reading descriptions like this, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Why are you telling me about this world that I don't know where to place it anywhere? And I was thinking like, hey, maybe I don't enjoy this type of world building through descriptions. But my last book that I've read last month in March was The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and that world building is done through characters, but also through a lot of description and a lot of things. And I did enjoy that a lot because, hey, I care about the plot. I care about how the different type of plots, the characters seem interesting, and hey, sure, the world also seems interesting with the storms and whatnot. Here, I don't care. I wrote here, the book is full of descriptions like this. Yeah, they add more to the world, but they don't do anything to the story. Why would I care about how the world is if the story is bad? Another problem that I had with this character is that if you are to, I finished the book and I've been trying to see what I remember at high level, and you feel that this pirate, this badass pirate, it's not a bad character. The character is kind of going on this moral path to be good because she has a daughter now and things like that. But at the same time, this is a pirate who has been plundering and stealing and whatnot. It's very, you are being told, at least, you don't see it, you are being told that this pirate has been, like this Nakuda has been feared all over the seas and things like that. It's like, this is a shit character, okay? It's a bad character, it's a great character. Make it a bad character. Keep at that. It's interesting to read more about bad characters, but it's a bad character that it's like she has this moral compass right now that, oh my god, I need to save this young lady, which is actually a man. She wants to be Jamal. But yeah. So let's see what I wrote in the scenario, in the script. She's trying to be on a moral path, but she's still a pirate. She's supposed to be feared. She's supposed to have done a lot of bad in the past. Yet, here she is trying to be portrayed as a good moral character. There is a conflict of the character itself, but it doesn't hold that much. It would have been interesting to have this old school badass character who retired went in his motherhood life, and now she is back at doing bad things because this is what she really is. So yeah, there is this conflict of a badass pirate, which you are told that he's being badass, but you don't really see that he's being badass. You feel that this very bad old school character, now that she has a daughter, she's conflicted that she wants her daughter to be great and have a great school, but at the same time, this conflict of what is this trying to be, about good or about evil or about grey stuff? Pick something. Another thing that I wrote down from the book itself. My heart rose with a mix of hope and worry. It is going to be unspeakably dangerous. You are putting yourselves at risk for a deal you had no part in. Oh, shut up, Dalilia interjected. We know it's dangerous and can make our own decisions. And you are far more likely to survive, let alone find these hidden artifacts, if we are with you. I wanted to protest. Perhaps a better friend would. But Dahlia was right. I was learning many years too late that I would not control the hearts of those around me. I had lived a daring life. I had fought for my ambitions. I could not deny others theirs. I would be forever grateful if you joined me, I confessed. This is at the end of the book where, the story is that you are being drowned by the plotline that this crew, Amina, has to find this daughter, but she finds the daughter in like 40% of the book, and she's there, and then later they get her back. So the whole premise is getting resolved pretty fast. Turns out that daughter, she's supposed to marry an old guy, but it's not really about that. It's because she doesn't like guys. She likes girls. She's Jamal, kind of like she's transsexual. So yeah, she had to put this into the story. Sure, but then again, the whole thing ended up. I was looking forward to see how this heist is going to resolve. That heist is finishing at 40 or 50% of the book. The things turn about that she's supposed to find some kind of sink or wash basin or something. I was like confused at all. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? Wash basin. And now the deal is, because this is a trilogy, it's not only one book. She now has to find other mythical objects or whatever they are. Yeah, and the thing that I just read in the past is that at the end of the whole thing, like she wants this whole thing, like, oh, this is dangerous for you to come, and she's like, shut up, we know that it's dangerous. Like, this is a character who's supposed to be feared, and now suddenly she's like, and with her crew, which she's been through a lot, now she's like, this is too dangerous for you, and she's getting like, I know, we know that it's dangerous, but we want to be here with you. Shit. The main plot line resolves pretty fast when they find missing granddaughter. Part of that mirage goes away. I really wanted to see where she is, what is she doing. Yeah, the plotline moved to surreal things, but the initial synopsis faded away. Not only that, but she turns out that the granddaughter, doesn't want to be a daughter. She would prefer to be a son, if you know what I mean. And just like that, we checked another checkbox in the outer social justice agenda. In the end, just read, she probably hoped ships of magic. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm tired. I'm tired of this freaking book. It's been on my head way too much that it should be. I've been struggling for like 2 months to try to motivate myself to record this, because I feel bad when I'm having a bad opinion about something that people say it's good. Oh my god, it's fantastic. I've tried to watch positive reviews by other people, but it's always something. Again, nothing wrong if you enjoy this book, but it's always like they had some expectation of 5 expecting of the speaking of Aichobori, or however it's her name, our author name, I forgot, her old books, and she's a new book, they get hyped up, and I feel that they are reading something that's been hyped up, and they can't see the story for what it is because they have been hyped up and they want to like this book, they want to like this experience or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's that whole thing again that you can't say negative things about things. I know I've seen some other reviews about people who kind of said what I'm trying to say, and I'm happy I'm not the only one, but it's like, why was this so interesting for so many people? Because it's boring as fuck. It's confusing. It's objectively bad, and yes, I think I'm doing a bad job explaining why it's objectively bad, but I'm learning. I have to see how to do this better. But anyway, I do have an upcoming other book that I enjoyed. It's there. This one I liked, but the next one I didn't. So I have to see how I will make another bad video. Finally, my soul has been freed. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.